comment regarding the fence, just very quickly? Just very quickly. Sorry. Mike Thompson again. Again, I don't know that we'll be able to be at the next meeting, so I just want to make sure that the board is aware that obviously I evidently oppose any opportunity to consider any type of a grandfather clause. As you can see by his presentation, it clearly is a personal issue. It clearly wants to establish some method of operation to continue to drive at us. And obviously, if that fence stays in place the way it is, that satisfies Lieutenant Perigo's very warped sense of I'm not even sure where he's trying to go with it. But the reality is that if that fence stays in place, continues to be an eyesore, it reduces the property values not only for me, but for the other individuals that live close by, and we should not have to put up with it. Thank you.
Number 9, we have a public hearing to re-adopt Cicero Code Chapter 198. I approve the publication in Richard Key of the Eagle newspapers and notification when it is being published. The approve and posted to Town Clerk Tracy M. Cosman. The notice is posted on the bulletin board at the proper time. Heather.
Yes, after some investigation, we finally determined that you do have ordinances on your books that prohibit speeding in the town and speeding in school zones and such. The problem with them is that they were enacted before you became a suburban town. And now that you are a suburban town, you have the opportunity to retain greater amounts of traffic fines if you cite for speeding as a violation of your local code. But your local justice court can only enforce those violations if you adopted the speeding regulations themselves as a suburban town. So what we're trying to do here is essentially re-adopt by local law what a previous administration adopted as local ordinance, now that you are a suburban town and you have the authority to officially do so.
Thank you. I'll open the public hearing at this time. Solicit comments from those who are in favor of Chapter 198. I'll solicit comments from those who are opposed to Chapter 198. We'll close the public hearing. Solicit town board comments.
We did a lot of work to get a suburban town in. I think we should update this so
Couldn't agree with you more, Bert.
we can.
Would you like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we.
Could I ask a question first?
Yes.
Are these fines that are listed for the various violations more money than are currently being charged?
No.
I don't think so.
So this is just an opportunity to make
retain
them
a greater portion of what you are already charging.
It's a paper glitch. I believe most of it goes to the state right now.
What, Joe?
Right, they go to the state.
It goes to the state, sure.
Yeah, right now, the majority of the fines, quite a bit of it, most of it goes to the state of New York. The judges set the fines, so the fine fee is not really established in the ordinance. It's up to the judge to set that. There is a state surcharge that the state automatically gets. It's above that. The fine itself is that will be coming back to us eventually.
Okay.
So I make a motion.
There's a motion on the floor. There's a second?
Second.
Mr. Conway?
Yes.
Ms. Tarwacki?
Yes.
Mr. Ryback?
Just so we understand, our officers and any of the county officers that so choose would have to write under the town ordinance in order for that to happen. They cannot write under New York State
Yeah, if they're
vehicle and
under New
traffic
York
law.
State vehicle traffic law, then the same procedure that currently is utilized now by the courts in the state would be what we'd be going through. In order to recoup any of the fine money, it has to be done under our local ordinance.
And I'm assuming, hopefully, that I'm true in saying that our officers will start to use these local ordinances when they're doing their traffic
Oh, there's
stops.
no doubt about it. And to put down any, I mean, I've heard a lot of comments regarding this, stating that we're going out and write tickets to raise money. I've been the chief here for 13 years, and I think anyone knows that my ethical standards are beyond reproach. And it absolutely is not the case. I just feel it's necessary that with suburban town, it gives us the opportunity to get back so that we can use that money to provide the services and help support the services.
And it's my understanding also that the county sheriff's department also will try to cooperate with us on that. Obviously, the state police will be unable to because their money is obviously going to go to the state.
If the board approves this, then I will be calling Sheriff Walsh to speak with him and asking him to support this as well, so these officers who work in this area be familiar with our local codes.
Okay. Yes.
Mr. Corral.
Yes.
Mr. Kaczynski.
Yes. How soon does this take effect?
It takes effect when filed with the Secretary of State, so I'm going to get it to Tracy as quickly as humanly possible, and as soon as she can get it in the mail and she gets her filing receipt, then we'll be good to go.
Thank you. Number 10, Gary.
Yes, the board should have received copies of the bid tabs for the trash bid, as well as our letter of recommendation. Bids were opened on March 13th. There were 3 bidders. The bids range from $4.8 million approximately to $6.457 million. The low bidder was Farish Rubbish Removal at a bid of $4,825,320.96. As Fair is currently providing these services to the town, it is the lowest responsive bidder. We see no reason not to award to them.
We have all the paperwork in order from the bids, the bid bonds and all that.
Not yet, it won't be until you approve this bid, and then we'll have to, make sure that they have the necessary insurance and certifications, et cetera, in place before the supervisor actually signs the contract.
Motion to approve is presented.
Second.
Mr. Conway.
Yes.
Ms. Tarwacki.
Yes.
Mr. Raga.
Yes.
Mr. Corral.
Yes.
Mr. Kaczynski.
Yes. Number 11, discussion of Onondaga County Development Commercial Rehab Program. We need to set a public hearing date to designate areas in Bridgeport as blighted. There's one thing I'd like to straighten out when we use the word blighted. We used this once before in Brewer, and people really got upset when I used that word, and I got dozens of phone calls. Basically what this does is for the commercial buildings in the area that we designate, so they're able to get some assistance from the county for facades and to clean up their buildings. So we aren't just throwing this blighted word out there because we don't like people or like certain areas. It's there to assist them. And we have to use that word, or it just doesn't fit the criteria. So that's why we have to use that.
Did everybody here get a copy of the information from Community Development, the county? It's only a one-page document, I'm sorry, it's all they were able to get to us. The one thing I want to make sure that when you set the public hearing date before, fairly quickly after tonight's meeting, you need to determine exactly what the boundaries of this quote-unquote blighted area are going to be, because community development will need that, and will need that information to determine what properties are eligible for funds through them. And I want to make sure that when we do our public hearing notice that we accurately describe what is going to be considered.
Do we have that yet, Anita?
Actually, yes, I gave it to Bonnie and Linda today, so.
Good.
That's
Awesome.
Right.
We'll get that to you tomorrow.
Okay, great.
And when do we want to set the date for? April 14th or 28th?
It's up to you. You could probably do it for the 14th.
Can we pull off on the 14th?
Yeah, let's do that.
I'd like to make a motion, we set the public hearing date to designate areas in Bridgeport as blighted on April 14th, 2008. And that's in the form of a motion.
Second.
Mr. Conway.
Yes.
Ms. Tarwacki.
Yes.
Mr. Raga.
Yes.
Mr. Corral.
Yes.
Mr. Kaczynski.
Yes.